Easy cross leg. If you need to sit on a block to help your back out, or if your hips are tight, go ahead. Okay, you're gonna bring your arms up to the sky, take a nice big stretch, interlace your fingers, press your palms straight up, get big and long. Look up at your hands, bring your arms down into a 90-degree angle, and then twist it out. We're gonna start warming up the spine, nice tall back, syncing the breath with the movement. That's it, trying to get as deep into these twists as possible. We're only gonna do 1 minute twist today, but you could do 1, 3, 5 minutes, whatever you need to sync the breath, clean out the lungs, strengthen the back. You might wanna start speeding it up a little bit. Good, you might even get a couple little back cracks if you're lucky. Breathing in and out through your nose in yoga. Nose is a natural filter, so let's take advantage of that. Get rid of all those impurities we could possibly take in through the mouth directly into the lung. Speed up a little bit more, last 20 seconds. So today we're going to be working some strength stability position poses. So if you're playing football and you're working some strength stability position, these are going to be some great poses for you to focus on. And let's take a nice deep breath in. Arms over your head, interlace your fingers, press your palms up to the sky. Don't forget to breathe. And then hands are going to come down into heart center. You're going to come off the block and go ahead and lay down onto your backs. Arms are overhead. Big full body stretch on the floor. You're going to love this, like a big body yawn, reaching your arms overhead. Stretch your feet to the front of your mat. Get a big arch in your back. And now let's press the low back into the ground. Try to connect it with the floor. And opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm going to go 1 minute here. You can go up to 3 to 5 minutes if you want. Clearly, we're warming up the hamstring, the hip joint, the shoulder joint, and again, syncing the breath with the movement, trying to get to the point like they are that your fingertips touch your toe tips. In the beginning, this might not be a possibility. You might only be touching the knees. But with time and practice, you're going to open up the hamstrings enough that you're going to be able to touch the toes pretty easily. You're going to exhale when the arm leg comes up, inhale as it goes down. And if right now you're suffering with any kind of low back issues, it's a good idea to start with your knees bent here and then work to a nice straight leg eventually. Let's go 1 more on each leg. And then pull your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around the back of your thighs and just rock from left to right a little bit, massaging out that low back. And then rock yourself up and back twice, all the way up and back twice, 2 big times. That's it. And then you're going to come up to seated. You're going to swing the legs around. You're going to come into your downward facing dog. So your hands are going to be shoulder width apart, palms flat, feet hips width apart. Go ahead and pop it up and start feeling out the hamstrings. If your hamstrings are really, really tight, you're going to end up with a rounded back. So round your back and show them what a tight hamstring looks like that. Go where you were. That's it. You don't want that round back. You want to have a nice flat back. So it's important maybe to start with a bent knee. Check your ego at the door, bend the knees, get a nice, safe, strong back. And we're going to bring the right foot forward between your hands. Okay, we're going to go into half side squat here. You're going to turn to the left and you're going to sink into that right knee as low as you can with the right heel flat. So if you can't get that right heel flat, you might have to stay up a little bit higher. You're going to track your knee wherever your toes are, and your left toes are straight up to the sky. So you need to back out of it a little bit and flatten out that left heel. So maybe your butt has to come up a little bit higher. And then you're going to shift to the back leg, go as low as you can, as long as that left heel is down. Again, tracking that knee over your toes, and shift back to the right leg. This one will open up pretty quickly with practice. And back to the left leg as low as you can with that left foot flat. And then back to the front. Shift around to the front. Straighten that front knee for a second. And bend it. Press back to plank pose. Downward dog. And now left foot forward. Okay, turn to the right. Half side squat. Go as low as you can, keeping the left foot flat. Right toe straight up to the sky. Careful to track the knee over your toes. That's it. Shift to the right leg. So left toes are straight up to the sky. Good. That's it. Sit back. opening up those Achilles heels, Achilles tendon, and back to the front foot. Shift your weight. Eventually you won't even need your hands. You'll be able to shift back and forth like Spider-Man. Left foot flat. Good, shift it back, go ahead, shift it back. Left foot straight up to the sky, right foot flat, getting easier and easier. Yes? No? No? And shift back to the left foot. That's it. Now you're going to turn to the front of your mat, straighten that leg for a second, bend the knee, and pop the right foot next to the left foot. Let's make the feet about hips width apart, parallel. Take a good look at your feet, make sure they're parallel. Grab opposite elbow with opposite hand and hang. I want you to let your head go. Really important here that you track the knees over your toes. So don't knock the knees in. If you do too much, then maybe your feet are a little too wide. Okay, you're gonna shift all the way into your hips if you keep the knees right over your toes. Now let's bend the knees a little bit. You're gonna bring the forearms to the top of your head. You're gonna come up halfway with a nice flat back. If you can, straighten the legs and maintain that back. If you can't, don't worry about it. Bend the knees, come into chair pose, tracking the knees over the toes, and standing forward bend. Couple deep breaths if you want to sway from left to right. Bend the knees, bring the forearms to the top of the head, come halfway up, flat back again. Good, hips up a little higher. That's it. Nice. Upper body comes up into chair pose. That's it, hold it there. Very nice. Extend the arms and then fold it into standing forward bend. Shake those legs out, shake them out. That's it. Okay, hands down to the ground. Let's walk or jump back plank pose. Downward dog. Right foot forward between your hands, left foot flat. Gonna come up into warrior one. So you have a nice strong back leg. Push into that back foot. Good, chest is open and proud like a warrior. Arms are straight up to the sky. You're gonna hinge over into warrior three. So you're really using that core, trying to stabilize through that strong, clean ankle. Good, get long. If this is too hard, you can bring your arms out in airplane wings. That's it, and you're gonna come upright without touching that left foot to the floor. Bring the left leg over the right. Let's bring the arms out like we're walking a tightrope. So eagle legs. Sink into that right thigh. That's it. If you can, left arm goes under the right, eagle arms. That's it. Elbows up, stretch out the shoulders, arms out like you're walking a tightrope. Bring that left leg back around, back into warrior three. That's it. Take your time. And then hands to the floor, standing split, best you can. Upper body drops, lift that leg. Good, you guys. Head hangs. If you're fighting this pose by lifting your head. That's it. Little higher, and then drop the left leg down. Heel toe your feet out about as wide as your mat, and come into your first squat. Okay, 1 minute squat hold. That's it. So you're going as low as you can with your feet flat. Trying to get that back flat, hips are heavy, trying to pry your chest through, shoulders out of your ears. Nice job. So you're breathing. Don't be afraid to wiggle around in the pose. Forward and back, finding a lot of stability. Constantly exploring a pose. Don't go into the same pose all the time and wonder why you never get better. You gotta take a risk, you gotta test it out, you gotta agitate your body. It's that still pond that stinks and grows algae. It's stagnant, it's not good. It's the one that's constantly changing and the water is flowing and you're exploring, that's crystal clear. All of a sudden things become crystal clear. Nice big deep breath in. On the exhale, hands to the floor. Just straighten out your legs, shake them out for a second, and heel toe your feet back on the mat if they're off. Hands to the floor, walk or jump back to plank pose. Nice strong hold plank pose. Engaging your core, push the floor away, fill up the space between your shoulder blades, quads are strong. Let's turn that right wrist around. Important that we can get nice open wrists, whether you're blocking or you fall. If your wrist is not open, you increase the chance of a break. And then switch. left hand. You might not be able to get as deep as they are right away. You might have to start here. And if you have pins or any kind of plates in your wrist, you cannot do this. Only if you have a pretty strong, stable wrist. And then both hands straight to the front. Gonna bring the right knee to your left elbow. So we're only doing it one time, luckily. Right knee's gonna come across to the left elbow. Underneath you, good. Abs squeeze. Press back, switch. Left knee, right elbow. Back, switch. Right knee, left elbow. Strong abs. Squeeze. Get it to touch. Left knee, right elbow. There you go. Squeeze. Last time. And back to plank pose. Heel drops. Wrists are still over your shoulders. Drop the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back to center. Drop your heels to the right. Left arm up to the sky. Full side plank. In the beginning, you might want to drop that right knee down. Left arm up to the sky. Good. Hips are high. Push the floor away. Reach to the sky. And switch. Hand down. Drop the heels to the left. Right arm up to the sky. That's it. If you're feeling pretty strong, you could slide that left leg up the inner right thigh. That's it. Good. If you're having shoulder trouble, you might want to drop the knee as well. Good. Come back to plank pose. And downward facing dog. And then left foot forward, right foot flat. Come into warrior 1. Warrior 1. Nice and big. That's it. Now you're going to hinge forward, come into warrior 3. If your balance is off, you don't have it today, bring your arms out like airplane wings. It's really hard to reach out in front. That's it. Reach, reach, breathe. Come upright. Don't let that right foot touch the ground. Bring the right leg over the left leg. Sink into eagle pose. Arms are out like you're walking a tightrope. Squeeze your inner thighs together. If you can, right arm comes under the left arm. Full eagle pose. Elbows up. Hands forward, sink into that leg. Deep breath in, and then arms unwind like you're walking a tightrope. Bring that right leg around back into warrior 3. Stability and strength in that ankle, core, focus. Hands to the floor, standing split. Get that leg high, upper body hangs. Push the floor away with your fingers. That's gonna get that leg higher, little higher. And drop the right leg down, heel toe your feet out a little bit, and come into squat. Half as long, twice as deep. How's that? Is that a deal?
Sounds good.
Okay. Nice. Should feel a little easier. Really true deep hip opener and a very big Achilles tendon opener. You want to be flat in your foot. So you want to feel the base of your big toe, inner and outer heel, base of the pinky toe. And don't be afraid to move around the pose. Get the tension out of the shoulders. Tension out of your jaw. Nice deep breath in, half as long as nice. Yeah? Hands to the floor, straighten out the legs. Heel toe your feet in a little bit more. Bend the knees, plant the hands, walk or jump back. Plank pose. This time you're gonna go to downward dog and you're gonna lower down to your forearms. Okay, you're gonna lower it down to your forearms. Your elbows are only as wide as your forearms. So if you need to drop down for a second and measure it out like they're doing to make sure your elbows are under your shoulders so you're not engaging unnecessary muscles, it's a great exercise to do. And then make your arms as parallel as you possibly can. Parallel arms means a nice open shoulder. That's it. Now let's walk the feet back and come into forearm plank hold. That's it. We're not gonna hold it that long. Usually we do these 3 or 4 times. Stability, strength, focus, gotta breathe. Hold it there. That's it. Keep the upper body in position and drop your heels from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Square the feet back up. Let's drop them to the right and open your left arm up for forearm side plank. Good. So your feet can be staggered, level 1, or you can stack them if you can. Hips up nice and high. Push the floor away with your whole forearm, and then switch. Forearms, drop the heels to the left, and right arm up to the sky. Hips are up nice and high. Quads are engaged. Very nice. And both arms down and lower it down, lower your knees down, press back into child's pose. Everybody's favorite, knees wide, big toes touch. Take a big deep breath. I'm not gonna let you stay here too long. And then come up and come to seated. Okay, so you're gonna come to seated and then you're gonna lay down onto your backs. So you're gonna go into bridge pose first, not wheel, lay down, hands down by your side, feet again, hips width apart and parallel to avoid any extra tension on the low back, right? You're gonna press your hips up to the sky. You're gonna snuggle the arms under you and interlace your fingers under you and bring your heart to meet your chin. Don't drop your mouth open. Bring your heart to meet your chin. Get higher by pushing down. Get taller with strong roots. Bridge pose. So this is the opposite of some of the O-line positions where you're very forward and your head is up. Now we're stretching the opposite way, keeping the anterior spine open instead. A little higher by pushing into the feet and the arms. And then release the hands. Lower the butt down to the floor, nice and easy. And you're gonna tip yourself up into boat pose. So roll yourself up. Level 1, knees bent, hold on. Level 2, arms reach. Level 3, hold it there. Bend your knees, feet flat. Bring your hands behind you, palms flat. You're gonna open up those wrists again. Feet are parallel, hips to shoulder width apart, fingertips face you. And we're gonna go into inverted table. So you're gonna press it up. Try to bring the hips as high as the knees. Drop the head back if you can. Pushing through both feet, both hands. Lower it down. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Same thing with your hands. This time it's inverted plank pose. Lean back on your hands. Press it up. So a little internal rotation here in your legs, trying to get the big toes to touch. So you're turning the legs in, extending, pushing. Drop the head back if you can. Lower it down. Back onto your back. One more time, bridge pose. Bend your knees, feet flat. Feet parallel, hips width apart. And hips up to the sky. Interlace your fingers underneath and wiggle those shoulder blades under. That's it. So when your shoulder blades come under, like two palms, lifting your chest up to the sky, it eases any of the stress on cervical spine 6, which sticks out a little bit more than the rest of the cervical vertebra. That's it. A little bit higher. Try to get your knees in a little bit more. That's it. And then lower it down. And roll yourself up to boat pose or Navasana. That's it. Your toes are in line with your head. Back is nice and long. Get the upper body up a little bit more. Bend your knees, feet flat. Hands behind you, fingertips toward you. Feet parallel, hips width. Press up, inverted table. Press down through your feet, whole foot. Get those toes down. You got it. Butt up as high as your knees. Drop your head back. Let's get those toes down. Good. Lower it down. Straighten out the legs. Keep your hands right where they are. You want them approximately to the point where when you're up into your pose, your wrist is right under your shoulder. So again, we're stacking the joints to keep them safe. Okay, press down through your heels, through your hands, lift it up. That's it. Internally rotate those thighs. Get your big toes to touch the floor one day. A little higher. And then lower it down. Nice. Swing the legs around. And we're going to end with a frog pose. So maybe grab your block, put it under your chest, come to your hands and knees. And maybe you want to face that way. Yeah. That's it. Slide the legs out as far as you can. Good. Important to keep from a side view, your hip in line with your knee, knee directly in line with your ankle, and your toes out to the side. So you have all these strong 90-degree angles. Buildings are built with 90-degree angles for a reason. It's the strongest angle. Anything less or more always needs a support bracket, right? So let's get the knees out as far as you possibly can. And if that's about it, increase the stretch by pressing your hips back another millimeter. Try to relax the jaw. We're going to hold this for about 2 minutes. You could hold it for up to 10 minutes to open up the hips, groin, inner thigh. You could use it as your meditation pose, your visualization pose where you close your eyes, put yourself in your game, your optimum, most successful game ever. One more minute. So maybe foot out a little bit further, yep. Good. Let's relax that right shoulder if you can. Better. Good. If your head's not on the floor, you might want to make 2 gentle fists and rest your head if it feels better that way. So press your butt back a little bit more. Last 20 seconds, I'll give you that extra edge. 12 pounds. You all right? Yep. Deep breath in. Big exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. And big exhale. And come out onto your stomach. Nice and easy. If you could pop out of this easily, you weren't holding it deep enough, and you need to take a risk and let those knees go out further. You're very safe here. You can't overdo it. As long as somebody doesn't come over and tackle you, God forbid, while you're in this pose, you're pretty good. You have enough strong support muscles there. When you're ready, push yourself onto your hands and knees. Take your time if you need more time. And come to seated, easy cross leg. Nice tall back. Just like how you started. Hopefully it feels a little bit more open, a little easier to be in. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up. And exhale, hands, heart center. Good job. Congratulations for making it to the end of your Power Yoga for Football strength and stability routine. If you can, it'd be great if you could do it 1 to 3 times a week. And why don't you join us tomorrow for your speed and agility? We'll see you soon.